Right, I guess I'll just start then. Oh, that was a pain in the ass. Can you hear me alright, guys? I don't know what was going on then. I just ended up clearing my stream key and putting a new stream key in. Seemed to work, so... Very bizarre. Okay, cool. Hi guys, sorry about the delay. Oh yeah, I'll show you that again actually. Yeah, something I did while I was watching Haze. I just wanted to add a little bit more to the background, so I'm going to add a little bit every stream, or every other stream or something like that. I wanted to do a proper plasma effect, but it wasn't quite working, so I don't think I had the free cycles to do it. Okay, cool. Hi guys, who've we got there? I look a little bit tired. I'm a bit stressed out after that actually. But yeah, I'm alright. Alright, thank you for asking. It's been a long day at work, so probably why I look a bit tired. A bit warm as well. It's quite warm in here. Right, okay. So tonight we're gonna look at Bandits. So I've had a quick look at this in order to get. Hang on, where's my? In order to get this working with the crack. Hi, Dr. Miz. Hi, everybody else as well, by the way. Hi, Steps. Hi, Colt. Hi, Farai. Hi, Dr. Miz. Yeah, it's a bit delayed getting the stream started. I've had to start about 5 times, so. Yeah, it's not really plasma. It's just it's a simple plasma-ish kind of effect. But nothing actually plasma. It uses the same routine to generate the pattern, but it's not animated. Nah, demos aren't for me, to be honest. I prefer to make games. Okay, so I wrote this little intro to load the game up. I found the launch address at 2117. Unfortunately, there was some code directly at 0800, so I've had to relocate that code and write a little piece. It's this bit here, just to relocate the bit that's underneath the SYS. I'm getting a bit of echo on my mic. Now I'm getting sound. That's typical. Let me stream chat onto suggestions. Both. Cool. Right. So let's load this up and show you what this game's all about. One thing I found quite annoying about this game actually is that you can't actually start until the intro's kind of played out a little bit, so you've got to wait for this to happen. I'm going to turn the sound off as well because I don't want to hear the sound again. We'll have a quick look at it in the emulator, and then we'll stick it into the debugger and see what's going on. I've not looked at it in the debugger yet. I did all my hacking just through Vice. I've got my joystick turned on. You have to wait for all this to happen, it's quite annoying. Now I can do it. There we go. That's kind of a nice effect, it'd be good to look at that. I don't have my joystick turned on. So the interesting thing about this, and I think this is the reason why it's been suggested by Amok, is it seems to be, well, not completely. I think the ship may be done as sprites, and possibly, actually no, not even the score. I think the majority of this is done with characters, and as you'll see on some of the other levels, there's a lot of stuff going on. Especially when the balls start bouncing around the screen as well. And I think the reason for that is that this was probably done on a system without hardware sprites first. And so it's probably just easier to kind of port the code over using the blitting techniques than try and kind of mix sprites and characters together Because I even think these creatures here are done with these enemies are done with. Damn it, it's stolen one of my pairs. Are done with characters as well. I think there's very little that's done in sprites, but we'll have a look in a minute. You can see there's a lot of bullets going on, and on the later levels there's things that kind of bounce around the screen. It gets really quite busy. Yeah, it could have been a Vic 20 port, I guess. It was 1983, so... Or 82, 83, I can't remember the exact... Yeah, see, look, you've got all these things bouncing around now. And there's obvious colour clash going on in them. The sure sign that they're using character modes. I'm not very good at it either. There's an awful lot going on. So let's stick it in the emulator. In the debugger. Let's see what's going on. So this should have compiled into a PRG in here. Hopefully I can just drop in. Okay, why is that not running straight away? Is it not on auto load? It should be auto load. Oops. Hi Hayes, thank you for the raid. Hi everyone that's come along with Hayes. Yeah, we just had a bit of a nightmare. My stream wouldn't start at all. I just kept defaulting back to hosting Hitch for some reason. And I have no idea why. There we go. I run for some reason. It took me resetting my stream key, so if anybody knows why that happened, please let me know. If stream keys kind of go out of date. Yeah, I removed all my auto host and reset my stream key, and it seemed to let me on all right. So I don't know what that was about. Hi everyone that's come along with Hayes, and who we got? We've got Snowdog, It's taking you to Hitch as well. What? What is going on? Yeah, my live dashboard is showing Hitch as well. I had a brief Hitch glitch, but seeing here Shallan. Okay. I've turned off my auto host. I don't know why it's still. Let me have a look. Turn off auto host completely. It's bizarre. I don't know what the hell is going on at the moment. Which is having a nightmare. Twitch can't tell the difference. I don't know what is going on. Ah, there we go. I seem to be back on. Right. Absolute nightmare. I don't know what that is. I'm going to have a dig around in the Twitch settings at some point, but hopefully we can stay back on. So if you didn't hear me before, thank you for the raid, Hayes, and welcome to everyone that's come along. I can only assume it's a bad connection or something that's causing this. It's really frustrating though. It's the second stream in a row that I've had technical issues. Last week it was Sky internet messing up, and this time it's I think it's Twitch that's messing up. I don't know. Yeah, it must be the auto host thing. I've turned auto host off now. I'll just manually do it from now on. I completely forgot I even had it on, to be honest. Okay, so let's have a look at this game then. Thankfully it's got a demo mode, so we don't have to play it while we're doing it. Which is good, because I'm not very good at this. So let me get the controls right. Not that one. Okay, so there are some sprites. Oddly, the sprites are these at the side, which is interesting. Come on, start up. So all those are introduced through sprites. Yeah, Salamander is a great game. Actually, that's a really good candidate for... Wow, even that's done. Even the big ship is done with characters. Yeah, Salamander's a really good candidate for dissection, actually. So you can see all of this, except for the ship, and weirdly the non-moving pieces down the side, is characters. All the stars are characters, all the enemies are characters, the score is a character. I guess this is a ship in the top corner is a character. Everything down at the bottom is as well. Every bullet is... It's kind of crazy, actually. Yeah, I was just thinking that. Why is this stuff on the right hand side sprites? It makes no sense. But I guess if you're already doing characters around here, you may as well use sprites for something. I honestly think this was ported from a system that didn't have hardware sprites. Maybe VIC-20, maybe Atari or something. Okay, so interestingly, those aren't sprites either. Those green and purple. I'm not going to do hand gestures. I'll end up in a video. Those green and purple squares are also not sprites. They're characters, which is interesting. Let's have a look at the character set. Actually, I wonder if there's anything we can see. If I can remember where the character set is. It's always going to be the last ones I check. Right, there we go. Okay, so you can see the character set here. How do I turn multicolour on there? Where was it? We'll look at the screen as you go along. So, oh, game over. Alright, but it has sprites. Does the 800 XL have sprites and the 600? I didn't think they had sprites. I thought they were just. I thought they were similar to. What do you mean the 2600? Call them ghosts. So you can see it is actually building these on the fly as well. It doesn't look like they're... It's really hard. I need to kind of stop my... Look at all the sprites it's using there. It's using 3 sprites to do this. This is just scrolled up, which is kind of cool because this is solid and not moving, so that's quite clever. But it looks like, look, they're just scrolling it through the character set. None of this is done with hardware scroll. This is all just scrolling it through the character set. So it looks like they're... What? I turned that off. I literally turned the auto host off in my settings completely. I'm gonna have another look now. This is really frustrating and quite annoying from Twitch, to be honest. Yeah, it's set the host again. Why has it done that? Settings, manage auto hosting, host off, host list. Delete everybody from the host list. Sorry guys, if you get auto hosted from now on, I'll just host manually. Right, everybody's removed from my auto host list now. So bizarre. Hi Zork, welcome to the stream. I don't know what's going on tonight. Twitch is being it's been a pain, to be honest. We're making do. Yeah, I to be honest, I turned it on when I first joined, and I completely forgot about it. But I just turned it off in the settings literally 5 minutes ago, and it auto turned back on again. So I don't know what it was doing. So I've completely removed it. Yeah. So well, if it goes again, then I'll spam on host in the chat a bit. I wish I knew why it was doing it. Yeah, so looking at this, it looks like the entire scroll mechanism is done not with hardware scrolling, but just by drawing things into the character set on the fly. So this is our character set, and as you watch as it goes on, it's being updated on the fly. So somewhere in memory there'll be a big block of graphics. I mean, look at that, the big ship is just being drawn into the character set. Stars are being reused each time, which is good. But all the enemies are being drawn on the fly. And yeah, and the sprites on the side, the thing that you would expect to I don't know why I can't see them on here. The thing that you would expect to be moving is actually static and made of sprites. So this is very bizarre. It's a very strange choice of design. I'm gonna have a look through the memory in a minute in Infiltrator to see if we can see if all these graphics are stored in memory somewhere and they're just being copied. I assume they are. I mean, they have to be copied from somewhere. Yeah, it's quite impressive actually. Right, let's load up Infiltrator and have a look. That knows that guy is Yeah, I don't know what's going on tonight with that. That's really bizarre. Why is Infiltrator not loaded up? What's going on there? Let's load Infiltrator up and have a look at this. Okay, let's load up our cracked version. And let's have a look. Let's have a look at it as sprites for now. I don't know how well you guys can see this. We'll start going through that. There we go. This is. So there's definitely some kind of data in this area, but it's everywhere as well. Look, it's all up here. So there's definitely not using bit banks normally. Yeah, I hope not. That's the weird thing. I thought I'd fixed it because I reset my stream key, my stream key. And that seemed to solve it, and then a few minutes later I was back to having auto host turned on again. Okay, so it's kind of hard to tell because this is sprite data. Let's see if we can have a look at yeah, let's look at char set data and have a look in the char set, see what we can see. See, the problem is we don't see the character char set properly anyway because it's updating on the fly. So if we look in whichever button it is, again, I can never get this right. That one. The whole thing is updated on the fly. I wonder if they're double buffering. So if we have a look at, we can see if they're double buffering. If we look at which page is it now? this one. So we can see the screen in char set here. So I would expect with double buffering this to kind of flick between two values, which it is doing. So you can see there it's flicking between 4000 and 4400. Char set is all over the show as well. There's some quite clever stuff going on in here. It's definitely text more. Yeah, it's not using bitmaps or anything. It's literally just doing it with the char set. Let's see the full feature movie. Yeah, I should really learn these shortcuts. I'm terrible with them. Okay, let's have a go at sticking some cheats in here. Maybe we could have a look actually to see what that code is doing. Let's have a look at how the code is actually drawing those things into the character set, because it's quite interesting what they're doing. But you can see down here they've got some patterns going on. So if you look at this memory map round at this location here, not doing it now, so it's here now. You can see the stars moving across the character set here. I imagine as enemies come down, you'll see them in here, kind of. I'm not really seeing. Very, very interesting code model this. Yeah, CSI. Oh wow, I didn't know it did that as well. I've never zoomed in that far before. Interesting. We see the numbers. Enhance, yes. See the numbers moving through. Although this is going to give you epilepsy. If anything's going to give you epilepsy, it's this. Oh yeah, it gives you the bits as well. That's kind of cool. I never even realised it did that before. Very cool. So I should be able to like zoom in on the sprite areas as well. I think you need to know where they are. I think they're around here. So. Yeah, there we go. Not that the sprite areas are doing very much in this game there. See the patterns there? Interesting stuff going on there. Okay, let's have a look at trying to break some of the code here and see how these are being drawn. So let's have a look at where the char set is again, and I pressed the wrong button. So what clash occurs using the chars like they do? Pretty much everything clashes with everything else. Yes, so it's because they're using character ROM and they're using the color RAM, color things. Obviously, you can only have one color per color RAM location, so there's a clash if two things get the same location. And because there's so much going on the screen, everything clashes. Thank you for the bit, Actifin. Oh, that's the point. I do have, or hopefully I have. No, they haven't. It's still pending as well. I have a new emote coming up, which will be called that. I'll let you guess what it is. But as usual, Twitch is taking a long time. Twitch don't like me at the moment. They're taking their time over everything. Folks getting the system working properly. It's not animated though, unfortunately. I think you need to be a bit of a bigger streamer to get animated. Animated emotes. Stream did stop twice just now. It's still playing up. I don't know what's going on. I think it's now as well. I'm going to have about 12 videos in the bottom of my stream that I just need deleting. They're all going to be like 5-second clips. Whatever. Go through that at some point. Alright. What are we going to do? Yes, we're going to have a look at the character set. So I want to see what happens with this character set, wherever the hell it's gone. Where is it gone? There's my screen, my sprite. This is not my day today. There we go. So this is the one I want. So we're going to have a look at this and see where it's being drawn to, because at this location it's going absolutely crazy. I want to know what this screen is, where this screen lies, which is this bit here. So it's this char sets of 5,000 and 5,800. But it looks like interesting what they're doing is not only are they double buffering the screen, they're double buffering the character set as well. So they're obviously spending more than one frame drawing the characters to the character set, which is interesting. I guess it means if you're double buffering, it means you can not worry about copying stuff from one screen to the other. You can just draw your new character set. Could also be another reason why the color clash is so bad. There could be a bit of kind of color RAM lag as it tries to copy things across. But you can definitely see it here. You can definitely see it on that. Lots and lots. Yeah, I think it is to do with the color RAM copying across. There's a ton of color clash. It does feel more like a kind of slightly blocky Spectrum game, but I mean, look at the numbers that they've got on there. That's quite impressive. What kill quality is the source? Oh, right, for the stream, for the viewers. Yeah, I don't know what's going on today. I think Twitch is just having a bad day. Well, for me anyway. It seemed alright watching Hayes. Didn't seem to have a problem at all. Okay, so back to what we were doing. So we're going to have a look, see where these memory addresses are being drawn to. So 5,000 to 5,800, and the characters themselves are around about the second page in that memory. I'm not going to check this out because it doesn't look like it's being written to. So I'm going to check 5,100 or 5,900. It's been fine for 30 minutes. Alright, I'll shut up then. At least it's not kind of gone to somebody else. Right, so let's go and stick a breakpoint in. Let's do 5,100. Oops. 5,100. So the easy way to do breakpoints, come in here, type a memory address in, less than or equal to FF, and now any number that gets put into that memory address should cause a break, which it has already done. And we can see here it's drawing some stuff into the character set. So it is loading. Where is it loading the values from, or is that just clearing the values? I think this might just be clearing the values at this point. It's just copying into lots of locations. So let's just skip it on a little bit. It's still the same point. The accumulator is 0. No, it's 3, 0. So this looks like it could be the clear routine, something that's clearing that location. Although I'm not seeing anything else right into it. You would expect to see another location right to it. According to this, the only thing that's being written to that location is 0. Oh, this could be these stars. So let's just skip it on a little bit and get some stuff coming out. Yeah, there we go. We're getting different. And if we look at the character set at that location, so we're looking at this character here, and the value that's been put into the very top line of that. Is that right? The very top line? Yes, it would be the very top line. And that is one of these. It could be any of these. So I'm guessing as they add them on, they're creating some sections in the font for them, and they just keep adding them on and adding them on and adding them on. least I'm not hosting it on. Have you ever actually tried building a game in graphic mode instead of generic character mode? Clean all the ROM out except for the co-processors that are just clocking the board and buffering. Not sure what you mean using. Yeah, I guess you can use the 1541 as a code, but not everybody has one, so it's not always that practical to do. And to be honest, nowadays I think it's more efficient to use a cartridge for something like that. Barbarian looks like a character set type. No, Barbarian is bitmap mode. We did a dissect on that a couple of weeks ago, and it was just done in bitmap mode. They use some tricks where the characters only ever move 8 pixels at a time, left and right. So they never had to shift any of the data. They just had all the data stored almost like it was sprites. In fact, it was stored as if it was sprites, but it wasn't drawn to the screen as sprites. It was handed directly with the background. It's a very clever way of doing it. I think it's masked and then combined with the background. So yeah, I mean, there's not really a lot more to say about the technical aspect of this game. I think what's happening is as the level starts, it clears out the character set, and then some very clever code is just for every enemy that gets added on, it assigns a block of 4 or 5 or something. It looks like 4 characters. So the sprites are 16 by 16 pixels, and there's obviously something is recording where they are on the screen. And there doesn't seem to be any. There's nothing in there that's combining it with the background. So there's no overlap between 2 items. So it's quite a simple routine compared to, say, the Barbarian routine or the routine we did in our game on Saturday. But it does, because it's simple, it does allow a really large amount of these sprites. As you can see, I mean, it's I should just give up. There we go. Right, let's turn the breakpoint off. I paused it or something. There we go. Yeah, I should. One thing I should do. I spent a good half an hour before this stream getting a clean version of this game and setting up ready to do hacks on it. What I didn't bank on was Twitch being wrong, me pressing all the wrong buttons on the thing. So, nightmare night. But forget about it. I'm not going to stress out about it. Let's try and get some. Hacks in here. So, let's start with something simple like the lives. We'll, rather than use the cheat finder script, I'll go through the old method of doing it that we've done, because it's a good practice to try and figure out how these things work. So if we go to this mode, we have a look where this is actually drawn. So we know it's in these 2 locations here. The screen at this point. Let's start the game. The screen at this point is 4000 and 4044. We need to check if the char set is actually changing here. Or if just the number that's required, because it's such a weird way of doing it. It could just be drawing this number as it's required, which it doesn't look like it's doing. It looks like it's got all the numbers, so I'm going to assume that it's actually changing the value in that location as it happens. So let's just try changing it to 6. I see it's overriding it straight away, so that's been updated every frame. So let's go and find out where that's been updated. So it's over at 4000 or 4400, and the location is the second character from the end. Oh, I saw you messing with that actually, Hayes. I didn't. You've actually knackered it. How did you knacker it? You plug it in while something was on, or unplug it or something? Damn, that's a shame. You've only just got that as well, haven't you? Sorry, I've been getting a ton of phone calls since stream. Yeah, so we just had a look to see how it was built up. It just looks like a very kind of look how many sprites are being used for that truck. They can use 8 sprites or whatever that was to make that truck move across, but they won't do it on the moving stuff. Ah, okay. Look it directly into the U64 without the. Oh, you still need that protection adapter, don't you? Ah, okay. Damn, that's a shame. It's hard to just send it back as well, isn't it? I guess if you've been seen on stream doing that. So, okay, so we're gonna look at 4,800 to 7. No, so 2.6 and 2.7. So we'll just use this one here. 4,000 to 6, and see. Hopefully that will break when the game starts. It seems to be breaking in odd places now. This is the other problem I have with this debugger, is now it doesn't seem to be breaking at the right point. If you look here, it's not actually affecting that memory address at all. So I'm going to restart once more. These streams seem to alternate between stuff where I manage to get things done and stuff where I don't. Unfortunately, it was time for when I don't. Yeah, it's strange that it would break the adapter. You would normally think it would do something to the computer. So what did you plug it into? Your U64? Plug it direct into the U64. Yeah, okay. What are you trying to do? Right, we're gonna add lives, extra lives. Well, infinite lives, hopefully. It's a nice simple cheat. I think it should be easy enough to do. It's just the debugger is sometimes not breaking properly where it should. I think there might be a bug in the breakpoint handler. I don't know why, but. I got my PC Engine Turbo Everdrive card as well finally, and it's absolutely brilliant. I love it. So on Saturday after the stream, I may do some. Oh, it has broke. There we go. So we're storing something in here. Oh, this is just clearing the entire screen. Yeah, on Saturday I may do a stream on the real PC Engine, so I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so I need to stop it following me around. It breaks in the wrong places. This is not. Why is it doing this? See here, it's breaking completely wrong place. I don't know if it's because I've got this. I need to get that following me around. There we go. Ah, there we go. Right, there we go. So, we have got a value being loaded from 0.8. No, that's loading the value 10 in. Shifting it to the left, which is halving it. No, sorry, doubling it. Adding 2e to it. And then storing it in both buffers. Storing it with 1 and storing it in both buffers again. So, it's not... I don't think it's this. We need to figure out where the life value is coming from. Could it be this one? 849. Yes, it could be this one. So CD. Let's go and have a look at CD. See if we can see a value in here. So we've got 0.4 in here. So I'm going to try putting 0.6 in here. And restarting. A couple of frames. It doesn't seem to have made a difference, but that could be because 3 is the most it will show. Okay. let's have a look. So this piece of code here, let's put a breakpoint on that. Let's turn this memory breakpoint off here. Let's see what happens. Load accumulator with CD. So it's loading that value which we've now. Actually, that's CF, not CD. No, it's C7. That's CD. That's CD. Okay, let's try changing that value then. There we go. So CD is our live store. So let me write that one down. I'll find my pen. So in order to get infinite lives, we just need to find where that value has been decreased. We can do that pretty easily. Bring up the opcodes. These, we're looking for decrease 0 page. So decrease 0 page is C6. So we're going to hunt for D6 CD. There we go, we've got 2 places where that's happening. I'm pretty sure kernel is banked in on this this version. 01 is at 3.6, so you can see here in the top, it tells you the value in the processor port in port 01 in hex, and we can check out what that value means by looking at our memory map here. 3.6 would mean bits 2 and 1 are set, so it would be 110. So yeah, RAM is visible where basic ROM should be, but the kernel ROM is still there. So this is a kernel routine, so it's not going to be that. That means this 124F is our life decrease routine, and there it is. And if we just put 2 EAs into that, or 2 NOPs into that, I'll do it here. 124F. This one, change them to NOPs. And now that should be infinite lives. Nice and simple. The large ship does C6 or scrolling the time up, although mutating the chars. There's no hardware scrolling at all in this game. That's what shocked me the most, actually. So if you look at actually I can't do it now because I've got infinite lives. Let me restart the game. Let me put the cheat in here. So where was it again? It was 124F. So we'll make that little cheat in here. So this is the location which normally contains this, and all we're going to do is get rid of that and replace it with the same number of bytes that do nothing. So nop, which does nothing. For now though, I'm just going to leave it on, so I can actually, it doesn't matter because I can show you the intro screen. Let me recompile, reload the PRG. It's full game over. No live tag. Okay, right, well, we'll have a look in a minute, see what's going on. So yeah, if we have a look at the character set as it's doing all these things, which for some reason I can't find now. What? Yeah, I have to agree actually, Invader Load for me was probably the best one there. Why is this not loading now? What is going on? Okay, So if we go and have a look at the character set as it's doing this bit, which only seems to want to show some of the time. This should be the character set screen, but for some reason it's not there. Might do an LDA. I think next up I needs the test. Alright, let me have a look at that. So Bolt's had a look at the code. To be honest, I didn't look properly at the code. I should have. 124F. Oh yeah, I guess because if this one is decreased, yeah, let's change it for an LDA. Do LDA CD or just even LDA 01 to be honest. So yeah, this is the character set. Everything scrolls through here. So even you'll see when it goes to the main screen, even the main screen is what's that paused? Is it unpaused? No. Unfortunately, I pressed clear on here on this screen. And it's kind of screwed this up as well. I think I need to have a cigarette and then start afresh. Although there's not going to be an awful lot to do in this game, so if you guys have any ideas what we can do, what else we can do to hack this game, please let me know. If we run out of stuff to do, I'll just take some random requests, and we'll have a look at some demos of stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna go and have a cigarette. I'm gonna chill out a little bit. And when I come back, we will have a look at getting this Infinite Lives cheat working on here, and anything else you guys can think of. Have a look. Alright, I'm going to leave you with my new effect on my Be Right Back screen, and I'll be right back in about 5 minutes, guys. Yeah, it's a looping video of that. That's why there's a glitch in the middle of it. It just kind of jumps back. Probably try and get a loopable video rather than one that's just randomly chopped in the middle somewhere. Okay, let's try changing this location here to load accumulator. There's one. Oops. Where is it? Where is the hash symbol? Where's the hash symbol on a US keyboard? It's going to be US start. There it is. Okay, let's try that. Let's see if we get Infinite Lives on this. I've got no keys. It looks like I've got Infinite Lives now, so I think Colt was right. It needed that load. So the reason that's happening, as soon as I got Infinite Lives now, I can go and look. So this was decreasing that value, and it was doing a check here. But if we do nothing, then the check actually comes from another operation, which would have been this one here, and this could. Branch plus can happen if it's 0, because 0 is a positive number. So it could have got here, and this check could have failed, and it could have ended up going into a normal kind of game over loop as well. So let's see if we can find something else to hack in here. I don't know what that number is at the bottom. So anybody who's played this, I know Amox played this game, so you can let me know what that number is at the bottom. Maybe try and do something with that as well. While that's playing out, I'll go and change this code here. So infinite lives. And play a little bit. You wonder if you even paid attention to it. It doesn't. Is it a super weapon or something? Pressing fire just fires. There's no holding fire or tapping fire. Doesn't matter. I can just hold down fire. So I don't think it's that. Yeah. There doesn't seem to be an awful lot we can do in here. I mean, we could maybe turn collision off. Depending if this is character collision or not. So we can check that. Let's have a look. So it could, because it looks like there's nothing here. You stop before you hit those edges there. The sprite itself is not touching the floor. There's a small gap between it and the floor. There could just be a character-based collision against the sprite, which is another good reason not to use sprites anywhere else if you're going to use that collision. So these sprites down the side wouldn't be a problem because there's no other characters touching those as well. But let's have a look at the memory map and have a look for character collision, which I cannot remember the exact location. So let's go to D000. Have a look. So we're looking for sprite to character collision, and it's not that. Sprite to sprite collision, sprite to background collision, D01F. So let's have a look, see if we can find where that's being used. So it is being used in 3 locations. They're all within the correct area of memory that we'd expect. This looks... It's not this bit because this is 2 different commands. See here, 2 separate commands. So let's have a look at OF39, see if it's in that location. Again, 2 separate commands, it's not that. So let's jump to 96. Oops. O296A1. And it's not that one either, so it's not using, it's using its own collision routine as well. Trying to think if there's a way we could figure out how to make it invulnerable. Number maybe related to the amount of protection you have. What does that mean, protection? Oh, well, let's see if we can find where that number is, and change it to something else. So if we bring up our screen again, we have a look where it is. It's at row 24, 24 characters across. We'll bring up the calculator. We want 24 times 24, 240 in hex. Wait, that doesn't seem right. No, sorry. Row 24, so 24 times 40 plus 24. There we go. 3d8. So we're looking at 4 3d8 and see if we can see anything being written to that. So we'll do the same again. We'll go in here. We'll delete that one. 4 3d8. Same again. Less than or equal to FF. And now if that location gets written to, we should see the game pause and break at that point. Which looks like we actually need to get some kind of protection first. Put joystick up. Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh, that's the bar that's moving down here, isn't it? Okay. So let's go and have a look in 0 page, see if we can find... So this was where our score was. So one of these could potentially be... sorry, this is our live. So one of these could potentially be our shield. Like this one looks suspicious. So we're looking for a number ticking down. Actually, this one looks very suspicious. Although... It seems to be... There seems to be a counter for how long you can keep the shield up, and this one seems to be your overall power. So let's have a look for C0. So we'll search for C6, C0, which is decrease. I'm going to have a look at OF9E. So we'll do the same again here. OF9E will change to 01. Hopefully now we shouldn't see the shield tick down here, which it's not doing. The shield is still going to turn off because I think this one turns it off. Yeah, but it doesn't seem to. Oh, it is ticking down a bit. I think you lose a bit of energy when your shield drops. So let's have a look at C1, see if we can turn that one off. Let me just write down where that location was. OF9E. Let's put it in the cheats actually. So OF9E. Infinite shield. Let's see if we can find the same. So there's OF90 here, which is this one. So I'm guessing this one will prevent us from actually using our timer here. So this value here is probably never gonna run out. So I'm hoping now, if I activate my shield, it shouldn't drop at all. I should have permanent shield, which is basically invulnerability. And can you shoot through that shield? You can as well. Awesome. That's OF90, so let's put that in as well. So actually my OCD kicking a little bit there. I need it to be in order. There we go. Got infinite shield, infinite lives. Make it so the shield is always active. Okay, so let's work out what is turning that shield on and off. Problem is now it's not gonna turn off. So let's just put that code back a sec. See if we can see a flag somewhere in here that looks like it might be saying the shield is on or not. Oh, we've hit a breakpoint. Ah, interesting. Is this a high score, maybe? This looks like it might be a high score. Either way, I'm going to turn that off. Not interested in the high scores. Is that like a level score or something? Okay, so we're looking around here for something that says that the shield is turned on or not. Don't see anything other than when it hits 0 here. So let it hit 0 and the shield goes off. So now if I change that value to FF, shield comes on. Okay, so we just need this value to always be set to something other than 0. Okay, that's easy enough. So we go and find where we were doing that. So we were doing a little check here. If the shield is 0, then it jumps to here. So these 4 bytes here are checking if our shield is decreased or not. This is where our shield is activated. You see there it's set in 7C to C1, so we need to find where this is being triggered. So this is OF88. Hopefully there's a branch to it. If not, we just have to find the routine, which I can just search through. What was it again? 88. Assuming that is the beginning of it. It looks like it possibly is. No, it could be all the way up here actually. Let's see what happens if I search for that. No, it's not there. Okay. Let's work our way backwards through this. Okay, so we're checking if there is any shield. Checking if there is any shield, C0. Let's go back up to that location in here. which is this one here. Have we got any shield left? So it's this bar here. If we haven't, then we skip over and we go straight to here. In other words, we can't activate the shield. So it looks like there's some other checks here. This looks like if the shield is already active, then don't do anything. So I just need to figure out where we enter this function and work our way backwards through it. Or the other alternative that we can do is we can find a loop that's happening a lot in the game and hack into it a little bit. So let's start the game and find a loop that's happening a lot. Okay, but I'm going to pause and find something like some kind of jump to subroutine somewhere, and I'm going to put a breakpoint on it, and if that routine is being hit every frame, then we can intercept it with our code in here and write new code to replace it, which then finishes with jumping to this new location. So let's have a look at this one. So there's some kind of jump to subroutine there. It's not hit every frame though. So this is the bit that's doing our copy, probably copying the stars looking at this. So let's see if there's a routine that jumps into here somewhere. I'm not seeing a... So what I'm looking for now is an RTS. If I can see an RTS, then I know that there's a routine somewhere. It could be this actually. So let's have a look. 0878 as a potential breakpoint. Again, though, that's not happening every frame, so it's not that one. So we're looking for an RTS or a jump at the end somewhere. It's not happening. I'm just going to stick breakpoints on it until one of them actually hits. But that looks like it's being hit every time. That's not. That is. But that one isn't. That's weird. I don't want to do it on that. I want one with 3 bytes and preferably not in a loop. So let's do it at the end of this somewhere. Just going to run through all this. It's going to do all our copies, more copies, and then at this point, no, it's not hitting that either. Definitely hitting these, doing that every time. And it's going to come to here, then it's going to come to here. Oops. And it's going to store these values at 4026. This looks like a good location to do it. Just need to make sure that's not part of a loop, which it doesn't look like it is because it's advancing 1 frame every time. So this looks like a good location. So OA4D. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a location for that, OA4D. And then the last thing we need to do, we need to jump to a new routine. So let's call it perma shield. Then we need to find a location for that, but for now we'll just call it perma shield here. We'll stick some actual location in when we find somewhere, and then we need to. The last thing we need to do is store the accumulator at 4026 and return. So we need to make sure we save that accumulator value. So we'll push that onto the stack here, and we'll pull it here. And then that leaves us free to do what we want with the accumulator here, which is we're gonna put the value 7F. I'm gonna store it in our shield location here. So now we just need to find somewhere to put this piece of code. I put the code, the relocate code here. So I'm gonna put it 0740. Looks like a good place. Cool. Right, let's give that a compile. Load that in. Actually do a hard reset first just to make sure we clear everything. Clear any of these. Okay. And now let's load in the cracked version. And I would hope now, I don't know why it doesn't auto run in here, but it does auto run through Vice. Let's catch up with the chat a little bit. Watching Jim plays game videos, thing I really wanted to do the same but with real hardware. Okay. Sure what you mean there. I've missed it. Great to have an audience after 5 years. How long have you been streaming for, Hayes? Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot of streaming. You must have streamed hundreds of hours. Kind of impressive. It's hard work. Show you with my VODs. Come on point on the Linux shell, please. I need a little help. I know a little bit about Linux shell, but I wouldn't say I'm an expert at it or anything. But I'm sure there's plenty of people in chat that can help you. And welcome to the stream, by the way, Christy Gland. So yeah, it looks like we've got permanent shield now. I didn't press up then, and it's just permanently on, so that's kind of cool. So all that code is doing is I found a point in the code that was being run every frame, and then just intercepted it here, and then ran the original piece of code before returning, and just permanently stuck the value 7F in the shield. Oh, on YouTube 5 years ago. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna start doing. Probably not said this anywhere other than Patreon, but in the next week or two, once I work out how to actually edit videos properly, I'm doing a bit of a crash course in video editing. Once I work out how to do that, I'm going to do some bite-sized videos. So they're going to be like 20 minutes long or so, 15 to 20 minutes long. They're just going to be on one single topic about the Commodore, and we're just going to go through some very, very quick topics. The first one is going to be what is assembly language. So I'm going to explain assembly language, explain how it works and how it runs on the C64. Oh, thank you for the follow, whoever that was. 9YY Earning. Welcome to the stream. And if you're a sub on Twitch or you're a patron subscriber, then please feel free to drop me a private message. Drop me a private message and we can try and work out a stream that interests you as well. I've already got quite a few suggestions, covering things like IRQs, sprites, displaying bitmaps. Yeah, there's quite a few, so feel free to add your suggestions there if you have anything. Just needs to be Commodore assembly related and something that can be explained in 20 minutes, give or take. 5 minutes here and there. Would it not be easier just to change the condition for the shield on or off? Yeah, so the condition is that the shield value is non-zero, so all we're doing is just forcing it to permanently be on. Akmafin having a typing fail there. Did you hear about Zork getting raided endless chatbots on Tuesday? Oh, okay. I'm glad I wasn't streaming on Tuesday then. Yeah, I think we're kind of... I'm not sure there's much more else we can do here now. You have infinite lives if you ever do die. Although I noticed this value here is kind of flickering. I'm not sure what that's about. It could be that we've done something odd to that value, but I'm not sure why that would be flickering. Let me just check that on main screen. It is flickering there. It's very strange. It could be that actually the timing is so tight that we can't do this. If I turn this off, I'm just going to turn that off for a second, just see what happens. So we're doing exactly the same thing, but we're no longer setting the permanent shield. I want to see what would happen. The bots would repeat our stuff and add 10 more lines of random stuff in the end. You meant sub only and stuff to hold them back. Oh wow, that kind of sucks. I'm glad that's not still ongoing. Okay, let's... It's a hard reset. Load it in again. I really don't know why it doesn't auto run on there. I think I've got some... I've got to remove sub only. Can I get rid of the horrible purple line on the right? What purple line? Oh, the okay, I think I know which one you mean. Yeah, we can have a look. We can see if we can remove that as well. This is constantly overwriting a variable, not changing the condition itself in the shield function. Yeah, I mean, we could intercept the code that's actually detecting you pushing up, and just have it always run. It might be the way to do this actually. Let's see if this value keeps flickering, which it is. This could be a timing thing, because now it's maybe clearing that value and then resetting it again at some point. Let's remove our code here, and just run it in Vice just to see if that is a problem. Yeah, if we can find out where the condition is that checks if you're pushing up, we can just change it basically. We can switch it round. Yeah, exactly, Gunstar. We'll just flip the joystick check the other way around, or even just make it always seem like it's pushing up, because pushing up only seems to turn on that. Come on, only seems to turn on that shield and nothing else. So yeah, so it stopped flickering now. So okay, let's try doing that a different way. Let's try it the way Gunstar and Yearning say. Let's have a look at that. So let's load that version in. Keep typing run in that command window. Let's give it last V8 controls. I would love to, you know, that's one game that if I had to pick one of the dissects I've done on stream that I'd like to spend more time with, the V8 would be a really good one to do, because I felt like there was so much more that could be done with that, and I didn't really have the time to put in things like turn acceleration, so you only turn really quickly when you're moving really quickly, things like that. It was a very kind of rushed job, and I feel like there's a lot more we could have done with that. Programming a skip the game intro, god yeah, it needs one. Maybe that would be a good one actually. Okay, so we definitely don't have any flickering up here now, and when I push it up on the joystick, I definitely get the thing turned on. So let's have a search for... Let's have a look at the joystick controls first. That's probably the safest place to start. So I think it's DC00. Okay, right. Okay, there's a few places. Most of them are in the kernel, so I'm not interested in those ones. But these ones down here, these look like they could be good candidates for it. So we've got... That looks like some kind of keyboard routine, so it's not that. Let's have a look here. So this is loading the joystick, and if nothing has been pressed, so up, down, left, right, or fire, if nothing has been pressed, then it jumps to down here. Otherwise, it does some shifting. Seems to store the value in EF, so I wonder if EF is actually kind of a joystick control. Oops. So let's have a look at this. FF. Yeah, so this seems to control what's going on with the joystick. So we need to look at things that are reading that value. So if I push up, I get EF. So let's have a look for let's load accumulator with EF. Okay, so I need to get the opcode for that because I don't remember what it is. I should learn these opcodes. Let's load accumulator 0 page. Load accumulator 0 page A5. Okay, so we're going to look for A5 EF. A few locations here. The ones closest to this is probably going to be the most likely. Oops. Not that one. Not that one. Actually, what's up? Up is 01. Okay. Yeah, it's the only opcode you need. Take the shift about and store it in its own variable, then increment by 1. Yeah, I mean, what we could do is where the where is it? Where this value? It was this one here. Where this happens. In fact, I think it's as simple as doing this. E7. There we go. No, it's not. Okay. Am I in control there? Yeah, I am. Oh, there we go. Because I think what's happening now... Let me give it a restart. Oops. Should I do a soft reset? No, let me make a note of that location. OB6C. I'm going to try this in Vice because it's quicker. OB6C. Sorry, OB6A. OB6A. And because the value that it's storing is first, it's ANDed with F7. And we saw that pushing up on the joystick gives you EF. So if we AND with E7, then that upper nibble, which I think is the bit that's important, is never going to be set to F. It's always going to be E. We can check that in, where was it? EF here. Oh no, it isn't. That's not what's happening. It's actually, it seems to be doing some weird stuff here. Yeah, it's still FF, so okay, that's not enough. Okay, so let's set that back to, and F7. Let's just have a look at the other places. How am I loading the original program and then patching it? Okay, so what I did is I got a clean version of the PRG, which is this base PRG here. I worked out where the entry address was using Infiltrator to kind of look through the code. I then create a basic command. This is an SYS command which points to this piece of code here. There was some code already at 0800, so I basically used this code here to relocate this code back to 0800 and then jump to the original jump location here. And by using segments in Kick Assembler, you can create a file, you can load a file in, and then you can tell it that when you compile, allow memory overlap, so then I can kind of patch stuff over the top of it like this. So segment def tells the assembler what is going to be in that location. So segment def with base, so it's load this file in, that's what that base file is. A segment def with patch and an empty brackets means it's going to be defined later on, which is what we're seeing here. I think you could probably get away with not putting that in, but I always do just because it's nice to see it in one kind of block like this. I can look at these three lines and I can see exactly what's coming up. Alright, let's have a look at some more of these locations. So there seem to be, these are all locations that load it. So OC19, let's have a look at that. Okay, so this is actually loading it, and then it's shifting it to the left, and then if the carry bit is set, then it skips over because it now knows that that's not being used. That direction is not being used. Whereas if it's not set, then it is being used. In which case, into carry set. Carry set, it comes to here. If it's still set, it comes to here. If it's not set, it does this, and then it rotates again. So this is doing the up and down. So up and down must turn it on and turn it off as well. It doesn't turn it off though, because I don't think we're counting down anymore. We've put the permanent thing on. They're just making a little change just in C64 debugger for a game. Can that be saved out? Yeah, you can. So you can do. There is this save command in here. Whoops, let's escape that. I don't want to do that. So there is a save command in here. I can't remember exactly how you do it. Oh, that's it. Save PRG, and then you put the start address of the memory you want to save, the end address. I know it ends at this location, and then the file name if you can find the actual quotes. Maybe you don't need the quotes. Yeah, there you go. So that's now written, that file. I don't know where that's actually gone to. Probably on my desktop somewhere. But then you get a PRG file, and then you can use. Can you leave off the file? You can. Does it? Ah, very cool. Yeah, there you go. It saved it there. Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool. Yeah, so SPRG and then the memory address you want to do. Thank you for the subway bits, Hayes. I think it's really funny, these subway bits. They're getting lots of free advertising. I've said it twice now, and I never use them, so I find their sandwiches not very tasty at all. What if you create a shifter that allows to generate a value based to basically poll over the static value, turn on off the shields or whatever based on the input value? You create a shifter that allows the generated value basically poll over the static. So yeah, we just need this value here to be EF. It's EF. It assumes that we're pushing up. What? I don't know what happened there. Seems to restart anyway. Trying to work out what you mean by that gun start hero. I feel like it should be really obvious, and I'm not seeing. Yeah, you got me. Yeah, exactly. You got me thinking. All over the static value and turn on off the shields or based on the input value. Let me go back to the bit of code where it was. Where was it? OBBA, roughly. Okay. Yeah, so this is actually, that's not the location, is it? That's one of the locations that's reading it. This is where it's being stored. Actually, I think if we did time past Hazy Clock. Thank you for the bits, Hagmuffin. So this is the value where it's reading from the joystick. I think once we change this value, that's all we need to do. I think actually all we need to do is do a different AND here. Yeah, I think if we change this to 1E, hang on, up is 1, so yeah, if I change that to 1E, and then change this to 1E as well on the next line, pair 1E, that should, in theory, give us permanent shields. But did I have to push up then? Alright, I'm gonna copy that chunk of code. Oh, I can't actually copy it out of there, damn it. I have to type it in here. But that didn't work, so let's try this one instead. OB5C and 1E, and pair with 1E. Because now we're just ignoring the up. Although this is going to assume... No, this isn't going to work. Thank you for the bits, guys. You know, continue to have the war. It's fine by me. I really wish I had my challenge shimmer emote. I'm kind of annoyed that that isn't ready yet. Hopefully it'll be ready for Saturday. I look forward to that. Right, let me think about this. So this routine, if nothing is happening on the joystick, then it skips over. So we probably want this to always do something. Because we want it to always assume we're pushing up. So I'm actually going to change this next line. I'm going to knock out those two, actually. I'm going to try that. I think that might do it. Thanks for the bit, Andy Magic Knight. Every bit does count. It all goes towards the alcohol on the Saturday stream, and my recovery time on the Sunday. Although I don't actually spend, I just go to sleep on the Sunday. Pretty much all I do. Right, okay, let's give that a try. Oh, the last bottle of tequila I got was pretty nasty. I mean, it didn't stop me drinking it, but it was pretty nasty. Yeah, there we go. So we've got shield on permanently. So now it's just treating it as if the up is always being pressed on the joystick, which is cool. So you're never gonna run out. And this score is no longer flickering now. So the original routine we had here was probably causing a timing glitch. It's probably very, very tight timing on this, and it was causing this character here to flicker because it was being drawn at the wrong time. Whereas this routine is we're just doing exactly what the original code in the game was doing. It's just now we're saying that joystick is always being pushed up. And the way that we're doing that, just in case you didn't catch what I did, so this is where the turn that breakpoint off. This is where the joystick is read from DC00, so that's joystick port 2's position basically, and the first 5 bits in that, bit 0 to 4, are all when nothing's happening on the joystick, they're all high, they're all 1. And as you move the joystick up, down, left, right, fire in that order is bit 0 to 4. If you press any of those directions or the fire button, then the bit corresponding to that direction or fire button gets pulled down to 0. So what was originally happening here, because this piece of code was reading that value, it was ANDing it with 1F, which basically just isolates those 5 bits, and the state of those ignores anything in the higher bits, in the high 3 bits. And then it was comparing it with 1F. And what that was doing is if you weren't doing anything on the joystick, then it was branching over this entire block of code and jumping straight to here. So now what we've done is we've said, instead of checking all 5 bits, just check the top 4, ignore the up bit, and we'll always give you a value that ignores that sets that bit to 0, which is what we're doing here. We're ANDing with 1E, so we just end up with a 0 value. What is that? Do I want to click that? Should I click it? I'm gonna click it. I'm gonna do it up here. Oh, it's Akmafin. Way. I see. Oh, okay. You're trying to get it to shoot Akmafin, but it didn't work. I can get it to shoot me as well. Let's try. Doc. Oh, I can't even use my own emotes properly. At least I got the face at the end right, I just got the one at the beginning wrong. Yeah, only Akmafin managed to get that to work then. Damn it, not good. Okay, cool. Let's have a go. I think it was Steps who suggested getting rid of this line down this side. So let's see how that line is put there. I think there's probably... Okay, so it's these characters in the character set here. Now, it could be as simple as just deleting these characters. So let's try that first. But I mean, you can see, look, the game over is being written in real time as well. You need to be a level 3 chatter to do that. Yeah. But it looks like these characters are never being moved out of the character set. So what have we got? I think that's the space. I don't think there's anything in that one. But here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 characters. So let's have a look where they are in the character map. So the char set is at 4800. I think it's always at 4800. Let's have a look. Oh no, we say, yeah, it cycles. Okay, so actually 5800 and looks like 5000 as well. I can't really, oh, let's put that there. Yeah, 5000 and 5800. So let's go and have a look at the memory and then that location. Oh, I've just put some random value in there, so I don't know what's going to happen. It's a 0 page value, so it's probably some kind of variable somewhere. We'll soon find out. So it's these ones here. So from here to, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So from 5008 to 5047. So let's build 5008, 5047 with zeros, and we'll have to do the same because they're double buffering the character set as well, so we need to do the same there, otherwise it's just going to flicker on and off. If this works and we've got rid of it completely, then I'll add that into the code. So it seems to have lost colour on these things here. Not sure why that's happened, but let's try putting that in the code in here and just run it in Vice just to double check. I'm kind of trusting the debugger less and less for these sort of things, and it's quick enough to just load things up in Vice. So we need to fill what's it, 64 bytes of 0, and we need to do the same at 588808. There we go. So you seem to lose the multicolour for some reason. I'm not sure why. It could have been that value I changed in 0 page. So let's see what happens here. I'd like to get rid of this screen as well, or at least a way to skip past this screen, because it is very, very irritating having to wait for it. If we can find the jump location, or the spacebar check, or the fire button check, we can make that happen a bit sooner, maybe. But it could be the way that this works as well, because you've got that. Oh no, because you can actually once it's done through this, you can continue. But everything looks fine here. We just want to make sure that these come out in multicolour, which they are doing Make sure as they move across they're a multicolour. And this hasn't reappeared, so this isn't being drawn on the fly. That's one of the few things in the character set that actually stays there with those lines. Okay, cool. So let's load that version into the debugger. Always stuff to be learned. Let's get this to play fast. If you leave joystick reading as up is pressed, you are sending multiple commands from that. Going to slow the registers, wouldn't it? Well, I think what it's doing, it's reading that value once per frame and then storing it in 0 page, so it doesn't have to keep reading it. But it should be fine. All we're doing is when it reads that value, just saying, "Yep, up was pressed." So it's not doing anything extra. There's no extra cycles being used to do that. It's just doing this exactly the same as if you just pushed up on the joystick all the time. Well, other than the fact that it will go and try and turn the shield on, but the code should be designed for that as soon as that's kind of an actual in-game control. So we're not adding any additional cycles. We're just permanently using the cycles that are used for pushing up on the joystick. Auto fire, it's already got auto fire. If you just hold down fire, it works. Getting past this screen would be the best one. Okay, I'm gonna do some keyboard monitoring to see if we can find out where space. This is the one area I kind of suck at. I never really do anything on keyboard, and it's not the most straightforward thing in the world. So let's have a look. Oh, I've got Acmeffin's head there. Zoom. Let's have a look at the memory map. I think this again is DC00, but in this case we need to work out the keyboard and row columns. First of all, I'm gonna try and find out where that's being used, because I think it works with fire as well, not just space. In fact, how can I check that? Well, let's have a look. Let's see where else this is being used. Oh, I just filled the memory with that value. Damn it! It's not F. It's okay. So somewhere around here is going to be the intro. It looks like the intro is all up at 9,000 anyway, so I'm going to ignore anything that's down there for now. I'm going to check these two values around at 96CD and 96DA. Oops, let's not do that. Let's give the game a pause. So 96CD is here. There is indeed loading that value there. DC02, I'm not sure what that is. Let's go and have a look. That's going to be something kind of related to those. DC02, oh, it's port direction. Okay, so if this is right, bit import one can only be read, one bit in one can be read and written. Okay, so this is turning read only on for all bits. So this is only allowing us to read that value, and this is allowing us to write that value. So it looks like this is fire pressed. Let me put a breakpoint there, see what happens. Because this is ANDing the value with 10. 10 is the fire button for joystick port 2. And if that returns 0, it means the fire button is being pressed. So as I say, the lines are high all the time, and when you press the button or move in a direction, they get pulled low, so they go to 0. So let's see. So if I'm pressing fire now, nothing's happening. Not sure, that didn't pause there, did it? No, it paused somewhere else. Have I got another breakpoint on? Why is that pausing at that location? So it seems to be pausing up here somewhere. 946F. It was in here, don't know why. It's as if there's another breakpoint on this location. I'm not sure what this is doing. This seems to be copying colour RAM to somewhere and then something else to another area of RAM, so I'm not sure what that is about. But for some reason it seems to be breaking there as well. Slightly irritating because I didn't want that. Nothing else. There's only the CPU one that we've set. Okay. Right, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give it a restart and do that again. I think that is the location that we want. The 960 one. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to give it a restart. I'm going to go for a quick cigarette. And then when I come back, we will try and get it to skip over this bit and jump straight to the second screen. Because it seems once it goes to that second screen, from that point on you can press fire. It's just this animation is a bit annoying, so we can just make it... Isn't it fastest to store a value than to shift and press step? Call that value. For value and to shift. Jump a step. I'll have a think about that while I have a cigarette. I'm struggling to understand. Right, I'll be right back in 5 minutes, guys. Be right back. And I'm back. You know, I think that little intro screen might be better if none of the colours were there and it was just the black shadows behind the sprites, on top of the sprites. I don't know, let me know what you guys think, because I'm kind of running out of ideas. Like I say, I'm not a demo writer, so I don't really know what looks good and what doesn't, or what looks most appealing. Okay, and I didn't restart this like I said I would. Give it a restart. And I'm going to stick our breakpoint back at 96D1. I've got no work tomorrow. I'm kind of quite pleased. I might have a go with the PC Engine later on actually after this. It won't be a 6 AM job though. Come on. And nothing's happening when I'm pressing fire now. I'm fully expecting that when I get to press fire that it should break. Oh, it's broke already. Oh, because it's doing the friendship equal to 96E8, which is here. And now if I press fire, nothing happens. Oh, because I've not got my joystick turned on. There we go. There we go. So this routine that jumps to it, where was it? This here, we need to get into this routine quicker than we are doing currently. Speed up the scroll some. Oh yeah, we could do. Press the store around to shift, jump, step and call it. That's not a bad idea actually. We could see how that scroll's happening and speed that up. Okay, that's a nice idea, I like it. So this looks like... this isn't it, is it? Where is it? So let's have a look at the character set that's being used at that point. Need to reset runner. Oop. And this is the other thing with a debugger, sometimes it just craps out like this. It's frustrating. So this animation fine, but this one is far too slow. This little bit here. if we look here what it's actually doing, with a pause. So it's using character set A00, and we can see in... not this one. What was this one? See, that should be the right one, and for some reason it's not. It's not showing me the character set anymore. But anyway, you can take my word for it, this character set is being scrolled through, so we need to kind of speed that up. I think that's a good way to do this actually. We can get that done quicker, and that would be interesting. So we're looking for A0, round about A00. Let's do like A100. Should be far enough through that it's always going to get hit. Press C. Oh, is that what I'm missing? Have I just pressed the wrong button? Okay, let me... Aha, yep, you're right. Okay, so let's... I'm not seeing any character set being updated here. That could be because I've got my... Put that there instead, I should see it now, so... It's still not showing. Ah, there we go. You can see it here. So, what character number is that? It doesn't tell me. That's really useful. And this is probably using multiple character sets actually, looking at this. Because I can see more than what it's showing in the character set here. So if I look at the screen here and I move up and down... It's not though. Oh, it's a bitmap, that's why. It's scrolling a bitmap up the screen. They've really taken some crazy methods for this. Yeah, this is insane. The work that they're doing to do some quite basic effects is just overkill. Let's see if I can see anything. Is it double buffering things? No, it's just a straightforward copy. So it's going to be spending a lot of time. Ah, here we go. Self-modifying code here. Seriously? Yeah, self-modifying code here. So, something is writing to these locations. Looks like this bit here. And... Oops. Oh, damn it. Completely lost where that was now. I can see it again. Oh. It's already up the screen now, so it's kind of too late. Go. Breakpoints all over the show here, so it's not those. I'm gonna see what's different here. And now it's jumped to somewhere completely different. Good night, Dom. Thanks for joining the stream. Can you grab that entire section and just set it in a variable, then up its increment? Where's that breakpoint coming in? Let's get rid of these breakpoints. Alright, let's give it another reset. So there's definitely going to be some kind of counter somewhere. let's scrolling this up a certain amount each frame. Yeah, it's this bit here, isn't it? Okay. So if I put a breakpoint on there, that's going to get hit every frame. Yeah. So this is going through. This is just such a weird way of doing things. This is our sprite that's moving up the screen. Although this would imply that it's moving across the screen. Oh no, it's this thing here. Yeah, sprite 0, that's this one here. D003 is this. This is what's moving this up the screen. Let the carry bit subtract by 10. Transfer it to Y. This is doing two rows at a time, maybe. And you get 3 men picked to win, I told you how to get 4. So he's going to keep playing until he gets all 5 men. Did anybody actually complete Airwolf in Airwolf August? I don't remember anybody saying that they did. What I'm trying to find is the piece of code that's kind of... Alright, so there's a jump here. I'm going to try and find the piece of code that's being hit when it gets to the end. Which looks like it could be this bit here. No. It's hard to tell what's moving the screen up at what speed here. And the fact that it's animating a bitmap makes me think this is going to be slow as hell to actually update. It is moving one frame at a time, one line at a time. No one ever completed. No one in the history of Airwolf has ever completed Airwolf. What's this 0C? So there's some 0 page values here, so let's go and have a look at what they're doing. Maybe they're holding the kind of screen scroll values. C is here and D is here. Let's keep an eye on what they're doing. No, they don't seem to be doing very much. This one seems to be counting up. This is 0A. Can we see 0A in here anyway? Okay, we have got 0A here. And that is being used, I want to say here. And 0C3 jumps back to here. Compare X to B7, and if B7, if it's less, then go to here, otherwise it comes to here. So let's put a, oh no, just get to that point. I think most of the Airwolf long plays are probably being cheated on. Most of the long plays actually on YouTube are cheated. 90C5. Okay. So that is storing a value of BBA7, which is, let's have a look, somewhere on the, it's probably this bottom row on here, I would guess. BBA7, yeah, that kind of makes sense. So it could be something, this is drawing the bottom row. Transfer Y to the key and then add 8. So yeah, I think this is the bottom row because it's drawing a pixel and then it's adding 8 to it, so it's going to the next character along. Transfer accumulator to Y. If it's not 0 again, then it jumps to here. But this seems to be clearing a line at the bottom of the screen by the looks of things. And then I'm guessing this is drawing the lines back in again. But this isn't going to... So the problem we've got here is, I think the reason it's slow is because it is drawing one line at a time every time. It's because it's scrolling a whole bitmap. There isn't really a way to speed it up without missing lines. So I mean, we could make it miss a line at a time, but that's probably more complicated than it needs to be honest. Because this looks like here is where it's taking one line below and then it's storing it in a line above. So this is taking this line here is taking a row of 8 pixels from the bottom of the screen and it's shifting it up by 1. That's what this is doing here, I think. And then it's advancing and it's going through the whole thing. Yeah, I think it needs skipping completely. I think that's the right thing to do. So I'm going to see what happens with this jump here. If we can just get it to skip the first one. I can shift and see if it's running a shifter. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. But I think so. We'd have to do two things. We'd have to change this so that it moves two lines at a time. But this is going to leave us with a kind of a CRT scanline effect, because it's only going to copy every other line instead. And then somewhere towards the end of this, there's going to be there is going to be some kind of value that's. What's this here? Load. This looks like a color copy. So 02 and 04. 02 is this one. So DB48 and DB70. So this is the color copy. So this bit is what's copying the colors up a row. So we'd have to change this as well. Not sure what you mean, Gunstar Hero. You can sequential the bitmap on time in a variable. I honestly don't know what you mean. In looking through this, 170, 170 decrease X. Could be these values here. Yeah, that's. I'm trying to find where it's been skipped over, which could be useful. It could be this actually. Decrease X. Pair X with 12. I do feel like there is a value. There is a value somewhere that is decreasing, but I don't think decreasing it quicker is going to change anything. It's either going to compress the screen, because it's going to come out at the same speed and it's going to skip lines. It's going to be compressed, only every other line is going to be drawn, or we're going to have it moving at the same speed but only every other line is drawn, so it's going to be the right size but with kind of scan lines through it. What I want to do is just find a way to initially jump over this. I don't mind it running the second time, but the first time it prevents us from using the joystick, the fire button. So I want to find a way, if we can, to skip over this section. This seems to be lots of sprite action. Okay, there is a point where the sprite comes back down again. So I'm going to look to see if there's an increment for D003. That's probably a good bet somewhere. So let's find where the increment value is. Increment is what, absolute EE. Okay, so let's have a look for EE. EE, and it's the Y position of that sprite. So 936E. Okay, so we were in the right location. That is this bit here. So this is where it starts advancing down the screen again. Let me get rid of some of these other... It comes to here, and now it should... There, we've got a break. So this is as it goes down. Good night, Andy Magic Knight. Yeah, the keyboard is not scanned at all while it's happening. It's kind of a silly intro, to be honest. I can't do anything at this point. Even nothing's happening. I have to wait until it goes to this next screen, and then it works. But this seems to be some kind of timer here. These are 96C3. This is just decreasing for a while. Then it comes to this point. And then, yeah, see, immediately here it starts reading the joystick. So we need to jump directly to 96C6 from the beginning of all this crap. So this crap starts up here somewhere. So it's going to set the correct kernel value, which is what we want, the correct processor port value. And it's setting that value. Store D00 in some sprites. We'll leave it there. I think it's kind of round here that we want to do it. I'm gonna avoid all the loops. There's a jump here, 9249. Let's have a look what happens. I'll write that down. 9249, and what we want it to jump to is this 96C6. I think if I start now, we should be in the right section. Otherwise, it's not starting. I just keep hitting this location, which equals 96E8. Because now it's actually waiting for me to press fire. I'll take that off. No, it's not though. That's the thing. The kernel is banked in, not banked out. So we've got a routine up here. Oops. Way around here. 96C6. I think if we jump to this point, we should be alright. And I've got a location try, so I'm going to restart and I'm going to put a breakpoint in that location. In fact, the breakpoints will stay, which is good. Okay, let's check. I've got the breakpoint in the right place up here. 249. Yep. So I want to see when this gets hit. I'm hoping this gets hit pretty much straight away as soon as the scroll thing comes on. But this is fine. No, see, it's not hitting that point. Where is it at the moment? Where is it actually running code? So we're running code in this location. Go around in loops here. 9072. What happens if I just put... I'm going to try something crazy here. I'm just going to try jumping directly to 96C6. Which is now... It's here. Okay, that seemed to do something. So 9249. I'm going to create a little hack in here to see if it works. See, what we should probably be doing at this point is doing our own, jump into our own joystick check routine, and if that joystick check routine is successful, then jump to the actual correct thing. First of all, let's just see if this works correctly in Vice. If this works correctly in Vice, what we'll do, we'll try and find the correct place to put our own joystick check in and jump directly into the correct location when we want it. So it should just kind of stop at some point. No, it's not doing C. It's just... Did I put that in the right place? I did. Okay. Have I got my joystick turned on? Oops. Yeah, joystick's on. Okay, so that didn't work. Okay, so what I'm going to try now, I'm going to get rid of that, I'm going to rebuild it. I'm going to try intersecting a part of a loop in there and do our own check for... The hell? That done? What? I have no idea what that did. That was very bizarre. Okay, that's working. So let's give this a reset. And then load. And then immediately I'm going to start looking for a loop that hits all the time. So one way to do this, because the kernel's banked in, there's probably an IRQ routine. So we can have a look at the IRQ vector and see what's being put in there. So it's saying there's a vector at 0833, so I'm going to go and put a breakpoint at 0833. Oops. And see if that is indeed being hit. I'm not convinced it will be looking at this. Oh, there is a return from interrupt here, so maybe this is being hit every frame. Doesn't look like it though. Ah, but we do have a break somewhere. 9072. So it does break at this point, so as soon as it gets to here, it's breaking every frame. Okay, so what we can do in our code, so the original code that is here is this, but we're going to replace it with, we'll call it joy check, should be enough. And we'll copy that code and we'll go and put it, where did we have our other code? Oh, we didn't. Alright, so let's find a location. Let's put it round 0740 again. That was a nice location. It seemed to work well for us. Call it joy check here. And the very last thing it needs to do is load the accumulator with that value and return. But then what we can do is we can load the value in DC00 and with 10. And if this is equal to... Do we want RTS here or do we want... I'm going to change this to a jump actually. I'm just going to jump straight back into the program. I don't want to cause a stack overflow, so if you keep jumping to a subroutine and then jumping somewhere else and doing something different instead, then you could cause a stack overflow. So I'm going to do this instead and I'm going to change that to a jump. So we're just jumping around in code rather than pushing stuff onto the stack. So if the joystick button isn't being pressed, then we'll jump to here. Otherwise, we're going to jump to our new location. So let's just advance this on a little bit. We had a location down at 96C6, which was here. I think we can go a little bit further than this though. So this was pushing onto the stack, pulling from the stack. Oh, it could just be an RTS. It could be as simple as RTS. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. So instead of doing a jump here, we just do an RTS and give that a try. So we have to wait for this to come on. Once this starts moving up the screen, we've now got control. Okay, well, okay, it skips some of it. It doesn't skip exactly what we want. So what we need to do is we need to look on the stack for the RTS. So I'm going to put the breakpoint here. I'm going to see where it's going to return to. So let go all the way up the screen. So we found out how to skip the update. But we want a little bit more than that. So we're going to find out the routine that's called in this routine. So this is just a subroutine that gets called and is animated, and then when it's finished, and we didn't hit the RTS. That was interesting. Now we've hit the RTS. Okay. So the stack pointer is at F4, so we can go and have a look at O1 F4, and we should be able to see what our return location is. So it's hang on, it's if the stack pointer is there, then this is our return address. So 947C. So let's go and have a look at 947C, and we should see a jump to subroutine there somewhere. So there's our jump to subroutine. And what happens with the stack pointer is when you return from a subroutine, it takes this address, it adds 1, and that's where it returns to. So now we're returning to there. Right, so this gives us the next step. So now we're in this routine here. And so what I want to know is, does this just return as well? Because if this just returns as well, what we can do is we can just pop that value off the stack. It doesn't look like it does, because if we look here on the stack pointer is now at F6, which is here, which means this would be our return address, and E146 isn't going to be our return address. So I don't think we're returning from this second one. Otherwise we could just push the two values off the stack here, do a return, and we'd return from this one as well. So let's have a look through here. There's got to be something in here that will jump straight to the second screen. Principles 94C6. So what I'm looking for here now is some kind of loop that just keeps looping back to the beginning here. Might not actually loop back to the beginning. Let's see what happens. No, it just jumps. Actually, it did kind of very quickly go to this screen, didn't it? What happens if we run this? So I'm not keeping up with chat very well tonight. I'm kind of in a bit of a zone now. And C01. I do like C, but I find. Oop. Oh yes, that brings it down. Okay. I don't know. If I'm going to program in C, I may as well program in assembly. I'd rather do that. I realise for kind of more complex systems, C is going to make that a little bit easier, because you don't have to learn all the kind of You don't have to deal with dynamic memory and things like that. You can just do it all through C libraries. So, but for a static machine like this, where the memory's kind of consistently in the same place, and the routines are all called from the kernel routines are all called from exactly the same place, there's no reason not to use assembly. You'll get the most speed out of it anyway. But where are we at this point? Let's have a look. So we're down here. Okay, so oops, pause again. So we were kind of flicking around in this area. So I'm just trying to find a good entry point that we can jump straight to. It does what we need it to do. What was our return? Oh, I've lost the return, stack return now. You can see the stack going crazy down here. Oh, that was it. It was this location here. So, so we're doing some. There's some definite loops going on here. Then there's a setting of D01Ds. Let's find out what that is. That's obviously some kind of VIC register somewhere. Sprite double width register. Don't know why that would be being called, but okay. Oh, that might be all the stuff on the top. So 9492. I'm unsure why this would be taking so long to get through, so I'm going to put that breakpoint there and keep resetting again. It's a slow process, but I think this is the right way to get this done. I'm not a cracker either, this is the thing. I'm a game coder, so for me this is still kind of unusual territory. I wouldn't normally be doing this sort of thing. That's why I find these streams useful for myself as well. I want to learn more about how these things work. I get how the software works, but I'm always intrigued how everything works. So, okay, got to this point. Hoping it's going to break any second. Doesn't seem to have done that, does it? Seems to be stuck there now. Oh, we have broke somewhere else. 96F6. Oh, this was at RTS. RTS takes us. See, this is too slow. This is the problem. Oh no, actually, this is right, isn't it? Because this is going to take us into the next function, which is here, which clears this screen. But that RTS should be doing it. This RTS should be exiting correctly. For some reason it's not doing. I'm going to compile this one. Which I've already done, but I'm going to do it again. Oh, it's already running, so it's fine. Oh, well then this should be the latest version. This should have our hacking. So we go to 9072. Yeah, we can see our jump to the code. I'm gonna go and put a breakpoint on our little routine here, just to see that the stack pointer is indeed in the right place at that point. Why is that not? Oh, because that reset. Build this. Again. It's kind of crazy what they do in this game. I'm surprised that they've gone down the route they have with it all. But I should be able to press fire pretty much as soon as the bitmap starts dragging, which I can. Okay, our stack pointer is at F4. I'll go and have a look at F4. That's here. 9333. So actually, this return location here is incorrect. So probably what we want to do is jump to. Actually, so let's go and have a look at what happens at 9333. Oh, 9334, that's the one, okay. So and this does a load of crap. And then it jumps to these routines here. Does some other stuff which increments the thing going down the screen. Okay, I feel like I need to put our jump address that we want into the stack. So I'll show you how to do that. This is commands you've probably not seen yet, so this will be quite interesting. Where was it? 9374, wasn't it? I might put Parasol Stars on after this. I'm really enjoying playing it on the PC Engine at the moment. So I'm going to do another half an hour or so, and then I'll probably take a short break and do some Parasol Stars on real hardware for once. It really is super easy as well. I don't know what they did with the Amiga version, but they made it a little bit harder on the Amiga version. I've completely forgot where it was we wanted to jump to. Was it this location? Oh, that's right. It was here, wasn't it? 947D. And 947C is what should be in the stack at that point. Okay. So what we're going to do... there's a few ways we can do this, but the easiest way I think would be to just pull the values off the stack. So we're going to take the original return value off the stack, and we're going to push our new return value on the stack. So we need to... hang on, which way around is it going to be? The highest byte first, I think. So you can see. Push that onto the stack. So now we're redirecting. Now we're completely... and don't read chat, don't read chat during continue play. So on Saturday I played quite early in the morning. Hayes was there, I think. Can't remember who else was there. There was a few people watching anyway, and I got distracted by the chat, and I ended up missing the continue. I got right to the, I think, second to last boss, and then I accidentally forgot to press continue and ended up losing all my progress. Thank you for the follow, Q139C. Welcome to the stream. It's so easy to get distracted though, that's the thing. So easy to get distracted. Alright, so let's try it in Vice, let's see what happens. It could just crash miserably now because I am messing around with a stack, so if it crashes I'm going to try flipping the values around. I can never remember which way to put the values on the stack. That'll do. That'll do. Cool. Right, so we've... I mean, it puts the sprite in the wrong place. We could move the sprite back down to the bottom. In fact, let's do that. Let's have a look. So if we look at the position of the sprite, it's at D5. All I have to do is, before I return from this function, is load the accumulator with D5, store it in D003, and that should put the sprite back at the bottom in the correct place. So what we're doing here is we've spotted a couple of nested functions, nested routines if you like, and we're just using the stack, so it keeps the bitmap as it's drawn so far. I mean, we could clear that bitmap as well, I guess. It wouldn't hurt to do that. Why not? We've got the room to do it. Let's do it. So we're going to take the value 0, and we're going to need to remember where the hell the bitmap is now. And because of the way the methods work, the way the routines work, when you jump into a routine, it pushes that return address onto the stack. So you can manipulate that. You can make a routine when the RTS happens, jump to anywhere you want to. So what we're doing is we're pulling these values off the stack to move the stack pointer along back to where it was, and then we're pushing a new value on the stack. So we're basically tricking it into jumping back to wherever we want. Sean, I'd quite like to play this version of the game when you are done with it, but do I have to have cheats on? No, you don't have to have cheats on. So if you go into the code, you can see the infinite shields here. Let's get rid of that one. Don't need that anymore. You can turn this off. This turns the shield. Right next to him, so you can just comment out the sections. And then shield activation. Just comment out the bits you want, and then assemble it, and you should be fine. So everything with a comment on it is a cheat, really. And just comment out that section. Everything else is used for kind of messing with the joystick code. Right, so we need to figure out where the bitmap is, which is at A00, and then we need to fill it with zeros. So what's the best way of doing this? Let's just go backwards from FF. Let's just do a simple, let's just call it loop. And I mean, this is oops. How many do we need to do? We need to do 32. I think we might have to change that value because I think there's a bit of bitmap at the bottom, so we probably don't want to. Let's have a look what we got down there. Probably don't want to go all the way down the screen, so I'll probably change that to a couple less, but we'll work that out in a minute. 40 is 80 times 8, 640. Let's do it to 30, and let's have a look there. So store accumulator at A00 plus I times 256, comma x, and then that's probably going to be too big for this loop, but let's see what happens. Decrease x. Actually it really doesn't matter. Might as well go forwards just to. Otherwise, it's just going to make that check a little bit trickier. And engine not equal. Loop. Yeah, thank you for suggesting that, Emma. It's in a very interesting game. So thank you for joining the stream. And hopefully see you on. Saturday. I can't remember where we're up to with the game, but oh, we were in the process of making the players shoot the projectiles, so we're probably going to finish that off Saturday. Yeah, I can have a look at that in a minute, Step. Sure. So yeah, the base is on the side. I don't know how they're drawn, so we can have a look and see what's actually going on there. I think this is going to be just about big enough because that's 3 bytes 90. Yeah, it's just about going to fit, I think. Better try. I have a feeling this is going to clear a little bit too much, but we'll see what happens. Might have to just adjust the routine a little bit to deal with these rows. Okay, so whoops. Oh, yeah, it's cleared too much. Let me reduce that down to say 28. I just want to see where the kind of boundary is. Yeah, let's try that. Oops. Right, there we go. Okay, so now it's not quite far enough. So I think it's probably gonna be. I kind of need half a row there, which is a bit annoying. Okay, so instead, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna treat it as. So there are 40 characters in a row, which means in a single line there's 40 bytes that need to be drawn for a bitmap. So that means we can do 6 lines before we need more than 8 bits to do it. So if we do 6 lines at a time, that means we would need to advance 240 at a time. And that means we need to check here for 240. There are 200 lines in a screen, and if we look in here, we can see that the bottom 16 lines are used for this. So that means there's 184 lines that we need to do. So hopefully that divides nicely into 6, but I have a feeling it doesn't. Oh, it does. Okay, cool. That should do it now. Oh, we've got some garbage at the bottom going on there. I'm not sure what that's about. We can have a look at that in a second. Could be because we're not clearing anything else. We're just clearing the screen and not the colour ROM at all. That looks fine. Let's just leave it a second, see what happens. Oh, it goes straight into the game. Fair enough. Okay, so you mean these bases on the side here. Okay, so let's have a look at the character set for those then. Let's go, let's clear all these breakpoints. We've got loads of breakpoints in here. Excuse me. I need to get a drink as well when I take my next break, which I'm going to do in about 5 or 10 minutes. And let's start the game. So I've knackered the colour shifting up here, so actually I want to just check that that's fine in here as well. Let's let this run through. I don't actually want to break the intro, I just want the option to skip it, so as long as this kind of scrolls up correctly, then we're alright. I think it will do. I think it's just because we've been messing with the... Yeah, it's fine, okay. Because we've been messing in the... here. So we'll load into the game, go into this mode. I'm not actually sure what they are. It could be that this is a bitmap, so this could still be bitmap mode down here. So let's have a look in here. Oh, actually, this is characters as well. So this is a character set of 5,000. Is it? Yeah, it says it's character mode. Okay. Not sure how much oh yeah, it is. It's these here. Let me put the line on there, and we can see it when we go in. There's these characters here. So actually, if we just clear a few more, so we cleared the first 8 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We clear 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, I think. I'm going to try 16. It might not be enough. I can't work out if that is as well. Let's have a look. So in that case, we just need to change these to 128. Clearing another 8 characters on top. Yeah, they kind of don't make any sense, those, except for the fact that they block you from going to those far edges, because you can't actually do any shooting up those sides, so they might get a little bit confusing. But I'll put a comment in the code that this is the character blocks used, and you can always replace that with another character block that you want. If you use char pad, there is an option to output a kick assembler byte code, so you will get a block of bytes, kind of like that you can export. So you could replace it with your own stuff there as well if you really wanted to. Oh, interestingly, only with the space only works when the screen's scrolling up. So if you let it get that far, okay, so I need one more. If you let it get that far to the top, you have to wait for it to finish the last bit. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll split that into 2 separate rows. So there's the row that, and I'll comment what each one is doing, and that the second one should be a clone of the first block. Oh, it's still not completely clearing it. I feel like there's a few, not enough lines being cleared there. Okay, let's fix that. Okay, so that gets rid of them. So what I've done is basically this. So this clears the curved line separator on the right side. Clears the what are they? They're like bunkers, aren't they, or something? Clears the bunkers at the bottom. Cool. So you can kind of mess around with these now. So what you can do, you can go into charpad in here, and if you draw something like that and it down to like, well, it would be 9 characters, I think that bunker was. You can kind of mess around with some characters in here. So let's just put some random stuff in here. In fact, let's put some numbers in so you can actually see where they are. So if I put 1, 2, doesn't really matter how neat they are, just so we can actually see what's going on. 3, yeah, definitely not the nicest font in the world. I wouldn't be using this for anything. But this is just so we can see what's actually where in the space at the bottom, and I can show you very quickly how to export from here as well. Yeah, that'll do. Get a bit taller. Cool. That'll do. And then if you go into export, then you can export. Where is it now? Oh no, you can't actually. Maybe it's in the sprite pad. You can do it. Oh, text file. There we go. Export project data as text. There we go. I'll put it on the desktop and then I'll open it up and we can just pull out the bit that we need. So if I open that file now, desktop, our data. So the only thing we're interested in is the character data, which is this here, which consists of 1, 3, 4, 8. Yep, so 16, 64, 72. So it's exactly what we need, 72. So we're just going to copy that. Instead of this fill command, we just put those in there like that. All games were rendered out of characters, no triangles. Yes, indeed. There was no such thing as WebGL or OpenGL or DirectX. Everything was just done with pure pixel pushing. And because memory was very limited, most games didn't even have a bitmap that they rendered to. They had tiles or characters. So the Commodore has the concept of a font, which is 256 8x8 pixel blocks. Which you can use like tiles to draw stuff on the screen. But some very impressive stuff was done with it. Very, very impressive stuff. Yeah, kind of. I mean, the hardware was built to make games in this way. It wasn't like it was built to be a terminal. It was built as a game machine. So you can see there where all our things are. It's actually only using 8 of them, so it looks like the number 1 is incorrect. I'll leave that data in because then you can actually see where it is. So it looks like it goes from left to right, but it does it in columns. So it goes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you can create a tile in charpad that does that. Quite easily. So you go into your tile editor, set what would it be, 2x4 like so. No, sorry, 4x2, and set 1 tile. Clear this, and then you can just draw in here. So decompress, yes. Draw what the hell you want in here now. fill. And we can do the same again. We just go in here, find the data, which is these. We only need 8, so I'm going to trim this down a little bit. It looks like the first one is a gap, so we'll just add the gap in here. And then add our bytes in. Oops. I did that twice, but it did. Yeah, so I'm gonna make it delete another eight lines, I think, here. It's not quite enough, is it? I'll work that out in a second. Okay, so it's... Oh, because my tile order's wrong. So, right idea, but my tile order's wrong. So you probably can't do with a tile system. You need to think about... You probably need to draw it in here and then rearrange them or something. But the way to do it would be to put those numbers in so you can see where things go, and then work with it from that. But yeah, I mean it's basically like that. I'll leave that data in there. You can have a mess around with that. I'm just going to change this routine. So we're clearing 30 rows of 240, which is 6 lines. So actually, yeah, we need another 4 lines. I'm going to put 31. That should probably be enough, because that's going to be 6 lines. It's probably going to be one or 2 rows over, but it shouldn't look too bad. You can always change this as well if you need to. And then I think I'm going to call it after this. I am going to stick the PC Engine on after this for maybe an hour or 2. I'm going to have a cigarette, get a drink, and yeah, then I'll get the PC Engine on and give it a blast for an hour or 2. Yeah, so I kind of deleted a little bit too much now, but that's fine. Cool. Yeah, I think that's it for now. Right, I'm going to take a short break, guys, and then when I come back, it's PC Engine time. So I'm going to save all this now while I have a break and stick it on GitHub. So if you want to play around with it, it'll be there. And thank you for everybody who's joined for the Dissect stream. I have got no work tomorrow, so I am going to take full advantage of it. So I'll be right back in 5 minutes, guys, with some PC Engine.